Day 3. Hello? Well, we woke up in the place that we expected to wake up at. That's a good thing.
Alice!
I'm upstairs.
Okay. You might notice that it's a little bit brighter today. I messed with some of the gamma settings. I think this will help with the dark spots that we've been seeing. Because I don't think it was supposed to be that dark. I haven't washed my face or brushed my teeth or anything for like 3 days now. So we're on day 3 today, and I feel like we're all starting to have a little bit of doubt as to what is actually happening in reality. Edward, towards Betty, he seems just a tad obsessive, and non-questioning is a big thing. Like, we find a random hat, and he's like, oh, this must be Betty's hat. We find a scarf, and he's like, oh, this must be Betty's scarf. And yeah, it might be, but at the same time, those items weren't exactly super unique either. So it does make me wonder a little bit. Lissie is upstairs. Today is not nearly as nice, is it? It's a little bit foggy. Maybe because we woke up in the afternoon? Oh, was there a... Oh, that was the burnt book. Okay, good. We did put it aside.
Teddy? Is that you?
Alice?
Right up the stairs, Teddy.
You gotcha. Were you reading the diary? Yeah, now that it's in the morning, the colors seem a lot different with the new gamma settings. The cup that was here last night. 1 cup. Lissie? What is that, by the way? The thing that Edward's looking right at? Is that a bed? Doesn't seem very comfortable to sleep in. Or sit in. Just to make sure, no new journal entries, right? There shouldn't be. September. And right now it's October.
Lissie!
I'm in here.
Ruth's room. Last time, I think we couldn't get in here because it was locked. We still don't have the key. Okay.
Where are you?
In the bedroom.
Good morning.
This is her room. Are you paying attention? Ruth. Can you imagine? One moment you're living a perfectly happy life, and then... nothing. Darkness. Forever and ever. Maybe there's something here that can tell us what happened to her.
This is a waste of my time.
We might be the only ones left to tell her story, Edward.
You're just being melodramatic. I'll help you look. There's still no sign of the Fretlands.
Maybe they left town after Ruth died.
What's the point of this? I should be looking for Betty.
I hate you sometimes. Ruth was an artist.
This is very primitive.
Have you ever met a child, Edward? She wasn't Monet, she was 8. This must be the village church. That's Ruth and her family on one side of the aisle, Simon and his father on the other.
The community divided.
Divided by something between the brothers that we don't know about. Involving the mines, involving their younger brother maybe. The one who died.
She found something.
Where's that supposed to be?
A cave. Or the...
Mine. It could be. But what did she find?
something important enough to draw.
Well, kids will draw anything. I wonder how Edward's story links with because I'm sure that's happening here. Edward's story has something to do with the Fretlands, and maybe we should be looking for parallels.
Draugen.
Hey, the undead monster from those folk tales you read.
What an odd book for a child to have.
I don't know. Children love scary stories. This looks interesting. Read some of it to me, please.
In Norwegian folklore, the appearance of Draugen, the reanimated corpse of a drowned mariner, heralds death. Draugen haunts the Black Seas in a shattered boat. The beast has a man's body and wears a sou'wester, but instead of a head, there is tangled seaweed, and the revenant's chilling cry freezes mortal blood to ice. Draugen has the power to enter the dreams of the living. If you wake from such a dream, you have been spared, though someone close to you... That's enough of that. It's nonsense, of course. Not something a child should be reading.
Do you think Draugen took our boat? Maybe he's out there, on the fjord, waiting for nightfall so he can return to shore.
No.
And your soul lacks poetry, Edward Charles Harden. I pity you.
And someone close to me what? If you wake from a dream, it means you've been spared, but somebody close to you... ...
That must be Ruth and Simon's fathers.
Perhaps. They weren't on the best of terms.
They look like they want to kill each other.
To a child, maybe it looked worse than it was.
Children are more insightful than you give them credit for, Teddy Bear.
Like you? I like how we've been here like 3 times already since we came way too early.
She made her bed that morning. Before she...
Or her parents did. It doesn't matter. It tells us nothing.
Why are you like this today? Betty's not the only person in the world that matters.
She matters the most to me.
Ain't that the truth?
His worry for his sister seems a little bit abnormal.
Ruth never finished this. What does that spell? F-O-R-B.
For Banelson. The curse.
Who's that figure supposed to be? It's creepy. It looks a bit like the Draugen in her book.
A figment of her imagination. But the box she drew... It looks like this box under her desk.
Really? Let me see. Pull it out.
Was that the box that she drew in the other painting? There was like a little yellow thingy inside.
What is this?
I believe this might qualify as actual treasure.
Is that Norwegian money?
Sort of, but ancient. Viking coins.
Are they valuable?
Not in terms of monetary value, but historically. Well, they belong in a museum.
Looks like Ruth had her own private museum.
Why would a child have these artifacts?
She must have enjoyed collecting and playing with them.
These are much too precious to play with. She should have given these to an adult.
She was a child, Edward. To her, they were just shiny toys. Wait! The pin! On the doll!
This is where it came from, her collection.
But where did she find these treasures?
If we're
In
to
the
believe
mines.
her drawing, perhaps the mine. She may have found a grave site. Wherever she found them, she wanted to keep them hidden.
You think someone found out?
These items wouldn't necessarily be worth much, except to a historian or archaeologist.
What if this is how... I mean, if someone learned she'd been collecting treasures, they might be willing to do terrible things.
I don't think so. This is such a small town.
There's a story here. The treasure box, the drawings.
The overactive mind of an imaginative child.
Well, she didn't imagine the Viking artifacts. You shouldn't be so dismissive. The drawings could be her way of dealing with traumatic events.
This is what happens when I read you the principles of psychology. You get notions.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Ruth was troubled. The village was troubled, and... Is that a bell?
The church bell. Someone's here. Maybe... Betty.
Why would Betty ring the church bell?
Perhaps she's in trouble. I need to get to the church right now.
Wait, isn't it more likely to be the person you saw the other night? We should be careful.
I told you, I'm not sure that was anything. Come on.
Go ahead. I'll catch up with you before you get there. I need a minute to think about all of this.
You hang tight, Lizzie. I don't think somebody would kill her for the treasure, though. But it has to do with Simon for sure. One thing that they just brought up in the conversation just now that I want to remember is drawing is a way to deal with traumatic events. I think we should remember this. Is there a point in us going out here?
Alice?
In here.
It's ringing. Oh, it's not ringing anymore. What? Oh dear. Oh, okay, it's just slow, that's all. Let's get going then. Alice never follows us directly. She's just right there whenever we need her. I feel like we're all starting to have suspicions about Lizzie and maybe even Betty too. But let's just see how this plays out.
Where are you, Lissie?
I'm up at the barn.
Yeah, do you want to come down? Come with me. Don't just stay there. These houses... Probably we don't have to look at them again. It's crazy to think that an event can be so traumatic to a whole village that everybody either killed themselves or evacuated. But then again, it's a small village, so maybe people don't really behave the same way, because it's like, well, if my family moved away already, then there's really no point in me staying here. Why don't I just go out and see the world?
All these fresh graves. Do you think that maybe
No.
Betty...
I'd know.
But
You wouldn't understand. Elizabeth and I, we have a bond.
God, Edward. Your obsession with her is really starting to grate.
It is, isn't it?
No one's touched these since yesterday. Regardless of how they got past the boards, there's someone in there.
I don't know if this is happening in the real world right now.
Gone fishing?
God is not here.
Well, of course he isn't. You won't find God in a church. God is the wind in the trees, the grass between your toes, the brook that runs
That's
through.
nature, not God.
Who did this?
Someone who'd lost their faith.
Can you peek through the boards?
I certainly can. It's daytime right now. We can see inside a little bit better. Oh. Okay. Oh.
See anyone?
No,
Listen! The bell! They're still in there!
I don't see anybody.
Hello? I heard the bell.
This is giving me
I'm
the
here to help.
heebie-jeebies.
These boards look flimsy enough to break.
I thought we had reservations about breaking and entering.
Look at that. The Ethel becomes an Edward. I didn't think you had it in you, old fruit.
Be quiet.
Let's go.
It must be her ringing the bell.
Betty? Are you here? Hello? This is Edward Harden. I'm looking for my sister,
Stop
Elizabeth.
shouting, Edward. We're alone. There are only ghosts here.
There are no ghosts.
I don't know about that.
Lissie, look.
Oh no.
Betty's gloves.
You've got to be joking me.
They are definitely Betty's.
Oh, for
She got
shit's
these
sake.
in Boston before she left for New York. She bought them at Woolworth. I remember the day She's here.
Where? And why would she leave her clothes lying around? It doesn't make
Breadcrumbs.
sense.
She's sending me a message. She knew I'd recognize her gloves, her hat. She's left a trail for me to follow, like Ariadne's red thread.
We're not in a lab.
Betty will have left more crumbs.
Betty. You're turning into such a pill.
We see the world through Edward's eyes, but there's no guarantee that that's the truth, is there? What are the chances Betty's clothing keeps showing up? If a child draws to deal with traumatic events, how does Edward?
What happened here?
The sign on the door. God is not here. Their faith was challenged, and it didn't survive. That bell still bothers me.
Maybe it's the wind.
What a terrible mess.
First this store, then this. What was wrong with these people?
They were angry and afraid. I'm no closer to Betty than I was yesterday.
Maybe she never made it to Grovik.
Don't be ridiculous. Of course she's here. I found her scarf, her hat, and her gloves.
I guess.
The church book, a record of births and deaths.
So we can find out what happened to the people in the village?
And, Elizabeth. I mean, if she was dead...
Her name would be in the book.
Would it? She's foreign. They might not put her here.
Vandals. Tore it to pieces.
I don't think the missing pages left the church. Look. How many pages are missing?
I counted 4.
They're probably all still here. I know. Let's make it a competition. 1-0 to Team Me.
Okay. Here's another one. Oh, can we not pick it up?
We need to find all the pages.
Yeah.
They considered this a sacred place. For them to destroy it. This was an act of desperation and anger.
Why though? Because they think that God has abandoned them? Because he didn't help them in their time of need?
I wanted you to find that one. I know what a rotten loser you are. Jesus looks sad.
What reason would Jesus have to be happy?
Don't be blasphemous.
given that this is all fiction, blasphemy is a contradiction.
Heretic.
Edward seems very, very unwilling to believe in ghosts, religion, and the like.
I've never seen you read the Bible before.
I've read the Bible many times. It's an important historical document. For he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Did you just translate that into Olden English?
I happen to know the verse by heart.
You still manage to surprise me sometimes. The final dinner.
The Last Supper. Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you.
Well, that's 2 pages, and now a third, and a fourth.
What are you doing? We're in a church.
I thought you didn't believe in God.
I do believe in civility.
The missing pages must be here somewhere.
She's not even trying.
What's that?
The last sermon that was held here.
What does it say?
The vicar's handwriting is hard to decipher, and the language. He talks about the village being divided for 20 years. This sermon was held on the anniversary of the accident this past summer. He's asking the congregation to help heal old wounds, to forgive, and move on. Something to the effect of, you sit in separate aisles in God's house.
Like Ruth's drawing. I told you, she was perceptive.
It sounds like Grovik was split in two, between those who stood by Johann and those who supported Frederick.
Because of Ruth?
The sermon is from before that. No, this is all about the preceding 20 years of division and disagreements.
It's to do with the younger brother, I think. How he died in the mines.
Here's something else. Many of you believe Grovik was cursed
Grovik.
20 years ago. God has not cursed you. This curse is of your own making.
Ruth's drawing mentioned a curse. What do you think that means?
It means they believed they were cursed, and that they needed something or someone to blame for their misfortune.
How does Edward feel about all this? Because curses, God, ghosts, all things he doesn't believe in.
Tilly Verandra.
Edward?
Forgive each other. It addresses Johann and Frederick directly, but I wonder if they were even here.
Remember the wedding picture? They were close friends once. How could they allow their grudge to escalate until...
You call each other traitors, but the only thing you've betrayed are the bonds that unite us.
You found another one? Just one more page missing.
This wasn't the page. One more page missing.
Found another one. You get it. It's right here. Two for two. A tie. Good job, Teddy, old
Stop,
bean.
Lissie. This is not a game. Betty's out there.
Of horse feathers. Stop being so gosh darn tedious, Edward. Betty, 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 will you ever shut up about your precious Betty? Put those pages back in the book, and I'll stop trying to cheer you up. Isn't this a fire hazard?
They're not always lit. Each candle represents a single prayer.
That's a lot of prayers.
There were a lot of deaths.
There's actually less candles than I thought there would be. It just means that this village only had like 10 people here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I'm not leaving until I find some sign of Betty.
Whatever you say.
She's not committed to the cause at all. Oh God.
This book goes back years. It lists births and deaths. Here's the third Fretland brother. The one who died in the cave-in. Someone added the word for Banelson, probably quite recently.
What does that mean again?
Curse. That word is all over this book. Not just the men who died in the mine, but other deaths in the last 20 years.
Ruth's drawing and the sermon both mentioned a curse. What do you think it means?
I don't know. There were surprisingly few births.
Perhaps they blame that on the curse as well.
Small village, but even less. Oh my god.
Look here. Ruth Elsa Fretland. She was buried in the cemetery.
Top
And
left.
the next entry, Simon Fretland. Now this is interesting.
Simon is dead? Oh, that's dreadful.
He drowned the day after Ruth died.
Oh no.
Probably no coincidence. See what's scribbled next to it?
Mord?
Murder.
Who killed him? Ruth's father? Or the mob that trashed the store?
It doesn't say. After the children, a half-dozen deaths in a single week.
The curse.
It's listed as the cause for every single death.
Maybe there really was a curse.
Primitive superstition. But something changed after Ruth and Simon. It might explain why there's no one around.
Edward, if it killed everyone, how's that not a curse? What does that word say? Next to those names at the bottom. For
Traitor.
Traitor.
Traitor. But I don't recognize those names either. Yeah?
Edward? What's wrong?
The final entry. There's no name. Alice, what if...
Oh, Edward, no.
Betty,
It doesn't mean she's...
she's not dead. She can't be. I'd know.
Teddy.
I need to see the grave for myself. It's not Betty. Betty's still alive.
Teddy? Where are you going? Don't leave me! Edward!
You'd better not be here, Betty. I'll never forgive you.
Here?
This one. It's unmarked.
Are you here, Lissie?
What is it? What are you doing? Have you gone completely mad?
Isn't that the one we buried yesterday?
Edward, stop it!
Thank God. It's not her. It's not Betty. It's not her.
Oh, Edward. What have you done?
It's not Elizabeth. I was so afraid.
You're a monster.
But I had to be sure. If Betty...
To hell with your Betty! When did she ever shed a tear for you?
Don't talk about my baby sister
Or
like
what?
that.
Or what, Edward? What will you do? Ignore us? Banish us?
Us?
You've spent your entire life chasing her. When are you going to do something useful with what's left of it?
Quiet! Just leave me be.
Fine.
Lissie? Alice? Come back. Don't leave me alone. Please. Come back. I need you.
Lissie was that one thing that was my connection between insanity, I guess.
Lissie? Where are you?
So Betty's not in this grave, but I personally think she's dead. I don't think she died here though. Maybe they want me to go to the mines, so let's start heading towards that. Yeah. Oh, there she is. Okay, so I think Betty died a long time ago. And at the age when Betty died is the age that Lissie is right now.
I was afraid you'd left me. Now listen to me. No!
And then we also heard earlier about how there's a story with my mom committing suicide by the lake? A pond? If somebody dies at Lissie's age, I think that would be considered child murder too.
Lissie.
Hey! Lissie, please listen to me. I didn't mean what I said.
Of course you meant it. Everything's always about Betty. Betty, Betty.
I care about you both.
Until it really matters. Then it's obvious who matters more.
I thought she was dead.
I wish she was!
Don't.
You deserve to be alone.
Don't you think it's a little bit weird how Lissie always directly compares herself to Betty? Cause she's supposed to be Edward's ward. Well, we know that's bullcrap, but she's supposed to be his ward, right? So he's like a family uncle to her, and in that case, then Betty should be like her aunt. But yet she always puts herself on the same level as her. I think that's super suspicious.
Please, talk to me.
What's there to talk about?
You can't keep running away from me.
She's a part of me.
You think you own me? That you control me? That you get to decide how I feel and what I do every minute of every day? That I'm your puppet, your little plaything. Well, fuck you, Edward Charles Harden! I never should have come here with you on this pointless chase!
Now, be reasonable.
I'm glad it didn't take forever to reveal this, because I don't think this is the main attraction here. Still gotta figure out what happened with his family and all.
Lissie? Alice? What are you doing?
What I should have done years ago. Maybe now you'll learn to appreciate us.
Us.
Now listen to me. Please, listen. Hear me out. Don't do this. You can't do this to me. I need you. I'm not whole without you. I can't lose you. I can't live without you. Don't, please, don't, no. What? No!
Oh my god.
Oh, Alice. What have you done? Please be all right. Please don't.
You make me sick, Edward. Your mother and father would be ashamed. Elizabeth would be ashamed. They did not think you deserved their love, so they abandoned you.
Don't.
Oh, my child. We are all that you have, and we love you. We are here. With us, you are never alone. Do not forget.
No, Never. I never forget. I am never alone.
Foran mig